Every franchise you love right now, every reboot, every legacy sequel, every cinematic universe, it all traces back to one single decade. The 1980s did not just give us great movies, it built the entire blueprint for everything nerds love today. So let's rank the 12 that defined it. Here's the thing, the 80s were the moment Hollywood figured out what a blockbuster actually was. Practical effects at their absolute peak, franchises being born in real time, directors who are still shaping cinema 40 years later. I narrowed it down to 12. And yeah, you're gonna have opinions about the order. Good, that's what the comments are for. Let's get into it. Number 12, The Breakfast Club. 5 kids, 1 detention, 1 Saturday. That's the whole movie, and it changed teen films forever. Before John Hughes, teen movies were basically an excuse for cheap jokes. Hughes looked at teenagers like they actually mattered, and gave us the brain, the athlete, the basket case, the princess, and the criminal. It made stars out of Molly Ringwald, Judd Nelson, and the rest of the Brat Pack. It only grossed around $45 million, about the million millagers don't even lie. But its DNA is in every coming-of-age story since. Don't you forget about it. Number 11, The Goonies. Story by Steven Spielberg, screenplay by a young Chris Columbus, directed by Richard Donner. A group of kids in Astoria, Oregon find a pirate map and go hunting for treasure to save their homes. It made about $125 million worldwide and landed in the top 10 of 1985. But the real legacy? Every group of kids on an adventure story owes it a debt. No Goonies, no Stranger Things. It's the original friend group quest and it still holds up. Number 10, RoboCop. On the surface, it's an ultra-violent action movie about a murdered cop rebuilt as a machine. Look closer, and Paul Verhoeven made one of the sharpest satires of the decade. Corporate greed, privatized police, media manipulation, sound familiar? It was made for around $13 million and grossed over 53. And it proved sci-fi action could be brutal and smart at the same time. I'd buy that for $1. Number 9, Blade Runner. Here's a wild one. When Ridley Scott's neon-soaked masterpiece came out, it flopped. $6 million opening weekend against a $28 million budget. It got buried, releasing just 2 weeks after E.T., which crushed everything. But then something happened. On VHS, then with the director's cut, it got reappraised, and now, basically every cerebral sci-fi film made since is chasing it. Cyberpunk fashion, anime, video game design, even architecture, it all drinks from this well. It's in the National Film Registry now. Not bad for a flop. Number 8, Die Hard. 1 cop, 1 building, 1 very bad Christmas party. John McTiernan and Bruce Willis basically invented the modern action template right here. The test screenings were so rough, they pulled Willis's face right off the poster. It opened to just 600 grand, then word of mouth carried it to 140 million. And it created an entire subgenre. Die Hard on a bus, Die Hard on a plane, yippee-ki-yay. And yes, it's a Christmas movie. Number 7, Aliens. Ridley Scott made the first one a haunted house in space. Then James Cameron showed up and turned the sequel into a war movie. Sigourney Weaver's Ripley became one of the greatest action heroes ever, full stop. It earned 7 Oscar nominations, including Best Actress for Weaver, in a sci-fi film, which almost never happens. Empire magazine literally named it the best sequel ever made. Game over, man. It proved a sequel could stand taller than the original. Number 6, The Terminator. James Cameron sold this script for $1, just so he could direct it. $1. It was made for $6.4 million and grossed almost 79. Arnold Schwarzenegger was supposed to play the hero, but he wanted to be the machine. Smart move. It launched Cameron's career, made Arnold a global icon, and gave us one of the most quotable villains in history. I'll be back. And he was. Repeatedly. Number 5, Ghostbusters. Comedy, horror, groundbreaking effects, a chart-topping theme song. Ivan Reitman blended all of it into the highest-grossing comedy of its time. Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Ernie Hudson, around 300 million worldwide, and merchandising that only Star Wars could rival back then. It was such a phenomenon, it literally changed how we talk. Every scandal became a gate, every takedown became a Busters. Who you gonna call? Nobody had to ask, everybody already knew. Number 4, Raiders of the Lost Ark. George Lucas and Steven Spielberg teaming up at the absolute peak of their powering. What could go wrong? Nothing. Nothing went wrong. Harrison Ford became Indiana Jones, and adventure cinema was never the same. It was the biggest film of 1981, over 350 million worldwide, Every whip-cracking, boulder-dodging, globe-trotting adventure since is chasing this exact feeling. It's basically a perfect movie. Fight me in the comments. Number 3, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. A boy, an alien, a bike flying across the moon. Spielberg made the highest-grossing film of all time, a record it held until Jurassic Park, which was also Spielberg. It stayed in the theatrical top 10 for 44 straight weekends. 44. Today, a blockbuster is lucky to get 4. It won 4 Oscars, boosted Reese's Pieces sales by 65%, and made an entire generation cry over a puppet. E.T. Phone Home still gets me. Number 2, Back to the Future. The highest-grossing film of 1985, and maybe the most perfectly constructed blockbuster ever made. Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale built a time travel plot so tight, not a single piece is wasted. It held number 1 for 11 of its first 12 weeks. Marty McFly, Doc Brown, the DeLorean, all instantly iconic. It spawned sequels, a cartoon, a theme park ride, even a Broadway musical. Great Scott. This is the gold standard for a crowd pleaser, and nobody has topped it since. And number 1, The Empire Strikes Back. Come on, you knew. Irvin Kershner took the biggest movie franchise on Earth and made it darker, deeper, and better. The highest grossing film of 1980. And that twist? No. I Am Your Father. It rewrote what a sequel could do. It showed a franchise could get more ambitious instead of just bigger. Every cinematic universe, every multi-chapter saga, every jaw-on-the-floor plot twist owes something to this movie. It's not just the best Star Wars film. It's the blueprint for the modern blockbuster. Period. So there it is. 12 movies, 1 decade, and every single one of them is still shaping what we watch in 2026. The 80s weren't just a good decade for film, they were the decade that built the machine. The summer blockbuster, franchise storytelling, practical effects as an art form, it all locked into place right here. Now, I already know some of you are furious about the order. Where's Ferris Bueller? Where's Predator? Where's The Thing? So tell me, what did I get wrong and what got snubbed? Drop it in the comments. And if this hit your nostalgia just right, you know what to do.